Hey, welcome yet to another weekly episodic podcast of The Navarro Show. I am your host, Israel Navarro, and what an amazing week it has been to be a fan of the New York Jets, to be at their draft party at MetLife Stadium. I just want to state that it was the first time I was there at the MetLife Stadium ever in my life, since they built it. It is beautiful. It is lovely. I truly enjoyed every moment of it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had a lot of fun at a beautiful stadium. When we walked in, we saw all the food selection. They had like this gourmet selection. Of course, they had their typical food stand, food of the chicken nuggets, fries, and pizza. But then they had and nachos. But then they had like the gourmet style of a spicy chicken sandwich, to gyros, to dumplings, to I think like tacos. I'm sure it's more of a Tex-Mex tacos, not your traditional Mexican tacos. But man, it was outstanding. It was beautiful. Then we went into flagship show. Then I got information to become a season ticket holders with the New York Jets. Then we went on to take a tour of the locker room area, which was so beautiful. Actually, I mean, you walk in. Obviously, they pass you through the visitors' locker room where the visitors are sitting and where they have to, get their gears and everything for the game. And then when you walk into the Jets, you just see that. You see the team messages written on the wall. You see where each player it is. You see an outstanding shower for the players. You see that. You see those good, they have state-of-the-art showers. They have a huge TV inside that locker room. Then you see where once you walk out of the locker room, you see the tunnel that they go through with the motivational phrases, with the Jets logo. Then you walk outside, then you walk out of that tunnel, and then you're basically right there, basically looking onto the field, seeing what the player sees when they're about to head out to play a game at MetLife Stadium. So beautiful. You also see when you're inside the stadium, you see the Ring of Honor, the players that they have selected in there. I was able to get some autograph with with two players. Actually, I shouldn't say autograph. I got a picture with two players. It was so much fun. Sure, it was a little drizzling and the wind blowing made it cold, but it was a fun experience. I can't wait to do it again next year. If not, I already talked to my girlfriend. We kind of agreed to go to. We're kind of on the edge of making that jump to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, to see the NFL draft in front right there in Vegas for the few days out there. The NFL is in Vegas hosting the draft, which would be cool because considering now the Raiders will become a Las Vegas football team. So it is huge, beautiful. I love it. It was truly fun. Now I'm going to talk about the Jets pick on this podcast. But man, it was a cool experience to walk into the stadium. We got to see the cheerleaders. You got to see the stuff they had for the kids playing. Obviously, one of the downsides to the experience was we weren't able to get onto the field because of how they had a motocross or it looked like a motocross competition. So they had the field set up for that, so no one could have gotten on the field. I think that was a bummer. If they knew they were going to do this draft party, I really think they should have just let the field be and then take care of all that, then set it up for that. But hey, everyone has their things to do, but it was an awesome experience. MetLife Stadium, so beautiful. And I can't wait to go this season to a regular football game and enjoy it with my girlfriend, one of the games with her there. So that is all for right now. We're going to do a little sponsor, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Jets' so far top 3 picks, which I think is very interesting, and what I'm predicting, what are these moves for within the Jets organization when we come back on The Navarro Show. Thank you for being a loyal listener of The Navarro Show, and please remember to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any platform podcasts are heard. And also remember that we do have our YouTube channel, The Navarro Show. Subscribe there. And thank you for being a loyal listener of The Navarro Show. All right, now we're hitting the record button here for the Navarro Show, and what an amazing experience once again was to be there to watch the NFL draft at MetLife Stadium, which was totally free. I forgot to state that in the intro, But man, it was truly a lot of fun. We enjoyed ourselves, drank the 44-ounce Pepsi, and we had fries, hot dogs, and chicken nuggets. So I think that was a little good of a selection. Now, going into the NFL draft, no question, no one was surprised that the Arizona Cardinals selected Kyle Murray, making him the shortest quarterback within the NFL at 5'9", knocking Russell Wilson off at 6 feet. Now, he is also now the first player to be a first-round draft pick for the Oakland A's in the Major League Baseball draft. So he's the first to be number one in both sports. But I do believe he's going to pursue more of a career in the NFL. We won't see him playing that much baseball. I don't expect him to, if we see him within the next few weeks dressing up as the Oakland A's to go play baseball, Major League Baseball. If anything, we might see him in the spring season. Just play a couple games, just like how Russell Wilson does when he plays for the Yankees within the spring season or preseason, however you want to state it. Then the 49ers selected on their first round second pick Nick Bosa, defensive end. Great kid, not one of the top prospects. Obviously a highly prospected person on the defensive standpoint, but not what it was. But the Jets sealed the deal with once again having their first round third pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, Quinn Williams, defensive tackle from Alabama, outstanding. We'll discuss him a little bit more later on within the podcast, but that's great. Not only is that with the Jets having two third round picks, they put Jachi Polite, edge rusher from Florida, and Champa Ejiga, tackle from USC. This season, the Jets did not have a second-round draft pick because of last year, all the trading that they did to be able to get Sam Darnold last year in the first pick, third round. Because if they didn't do that, we wouldn't have Sam Darnold being our franchise quarterback for us. So that's very key thing. So obviously that's why this year we had no second round pick, but we did have two in the third round when we did select Jackie Polite. He is a two-time SEC defensive player. He is at 6'3", 258 pounds. He led the NCAA in 6 forced fumbles. Obviously last season he played 5 of the 13 games. He wasn't injured. He just only played 5 games and has a career high of 11 sacks, 9.5 tackles, and an AP All-American second team. So right now we're seeing, again, another pick on a defensive scale. For the Jets, considering the first 3 picks that they have made in this draft has been a defensive. And I'm going to talk to you what I'm thinking, what the Jets are trying to do this season on a defensive end. Now, Champa Ejiga, who's 6'3", 308 pounds, he did play, actually, his junior year with Sam Darnold, when Sam Darnold was still part of USC. So, right now, I imagine we're going to see that bond clicking between quarterback and their tackle. We're going to see that relationship. He was named He was also named Player Pac-12 second team. He's looking good, looking fresh. So far, 2 defensive picks in the NFL draft. But going to our number 1 draft pick, Quinn Williams, who was obviously our first pick. We took him out from Alabama as a defensive tackle. But one of the things I think was very interesting, Williams, basically, when he was 6 years old, wanted to be actually one of the playing in the NFL. And one of his driving forces, motivation, his mother passed away when he was just 12 years old, but he kept on keeping his promise for his mother and keep on following his dreams. He is now officially an NFL player playing in the NFL. He played 2 seasons with the Crimson Tides. He stands at 6'3", 303 pounds, with 91 tackles, 26 for loss, and 10 of them were sacks. He also stated that he did enjoy, before the NFL draft, his experience of training at the Atlantic Health Jets Training Center. That's where the Jets train and prepare themselves for all their weekly games and everything. That's where they held their practices, everything. He did enjoy it, so he's happy to be with the Jets organization. He's ecstatic to be a first-round draft pick. But all so far, with these 3 major draft picks that the Jets are selecting, to me, I believe the Jets are really strengthening their offensive, and they have to do it. Tom Brady, we're still in a division with Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and who's still playing past 40 years old. He's still playing within the NFL. You have that division, so you need to be able to, one, have a solid defense to stop the Patriots. Not only is that, their head coach was for the Miami Dolphins, so he understands how they think offensively because of their offensive coordinators. So you obviously going to need a defense that's there no one is expecting. Right there, you see that 2 selection. You still have the Kansas City's Chief, who has, I was about to say Post Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes, who's in there. Now you have the Cleveland Browns that have Odell Beckham Jr. You're going to need to have such a solid defensive line, because right there, just naming 4 teams, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Browns, the Chiefs, right there, you're looking at what could possibly be solid teams offensively. So if you want to stand out this season, you're going to have to put defensive and stop them down and slow them down, because the more you can slow them down, the more turnovers you can have, the more interceptions you can get, sacking, having tackles for loss. You're really positioning yourself to be one of the key teams defensively, and that's very important. Now, unlike the New York Giants, who are kissing Eli Manning's ass to get rid of Odell Beckham Jr., who's really just because he was so frustrated because he wants to win. I don't get why the Giants think that. But you're seeing the Jets focusing on, they're like, okay, we got Le'Veon Ball. We got a player who can play running back, but also we can basically be a wide receiver. We can no question, he can catch the ball. You took a kid out from the Alliance of American Football to be your second-string quarterback. So you're not in the picture now for having a second-string quarterback. You already got your backup. You set up your quarterback with a great running game with Le'Veon Ball. You obviously you have great wide receivers. Now, obviously, Sam Darnold, this is his second season. He is matured. He knows what he's expecting now playing at this level. So Sam Darnold is coming with a different mindset, ready to go. No question, I still say it, Sam Darnold is going to be a very key, influential player coming once the Tom Brady era is over. So right there, you see that. So you see the Jets are right. They're like, okay, offensively we're good. Now let's make sure that we put the right pieces for our defensive, on our defensive end, and we can actually prepare ourselves for the season. And which I'm seeing that the Jets are going to have a solid defense this season. It's going to be very interesting, and especially I can't wait to see that outstanding lineup when the Patriots play in Foxborough and then again here at MetLife. So I'm really excited to see how those games going, because Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks. How will this defense slow him down? Now we're also going to state that the New York Giants did fuck up. There's no other way of saying it, no nice way of saying it. They got Daniel Jones, who was basically last on every scale in stats for an NFL draft, and he is their first round pick. Obviously, they were playing like, oh, we don't need a quarterback. Obviously, they put Haskin, who should have been drafted, who grew up in New Jersey, grew up being a New York Giants fan, basically dreamed about being quarterback for the New York Giants. They blew it. The Washington Redskins picked him up. They left it open, so the Redskins quickly jumped on the ball. Now the Giants are going to get their ass whipped by Haskin. Probably was the number 1 quarterback pick in the NFL draft. It is so sad to see that the Giants played, because they took Daniel Jones, a kid that looks like Eli Manning. That was just a safe pick to secure the Manning family, that their little boy, Eli Manning, is still going to be playing the starting quarterback position, that he's not going to have to compete for his job, he's not going to have to stand up his game, he can completely suck and finish this year off, retire and go into the sunset. I mean, it is so horrible. I mean, it is the worst time to be a New York Giants fan because right now your team is going to absolutely suck. You'll be lucky if you have 2 wins this season. There's nothing good coming out of this draft. It is truly embarrassing to be a Giants fan. Probably one of the worst picks. You know, the fact that they're trying to protect Eli Manning and all this thing, it is horrible. It is shameful to see that this is what the Giants are thinking, knowing that they need to really change their quarterbacks. They're going to outrun Saquon Barkley, so Saquon Barkley is going to be out of it. That guy's going to want to be leaving. He can come here and play with the Jets too, whatever. I don't care. But Saquon Barkley's going to want out of the New York Giants because this whole season, he's going to put up the stats. He's going to have an amazing season. But the pressure's going to be on him because Eli Manning is not a legitimate elite quarterback no more. He should have retired a couple seasons back. He should step aside and gone to another team that, he could have just helped set him up until they were able to draft a quarterback within the first round pick. But right now, it's not a good time to be a New York Giants fan. That is for sure. But with the Jets selection, I am 100% happy, excited, and then we're going to see how the season goes out and plays off. Not only is that the XFL is also going to be, I don't know if the XFL really affected this NFL draft this season. It didn't look like it, but we're going to see when it comes out to the next following year, 2020, when the XFL is basically playing when the NFL draft is going to happen. So it's going to be a very interesting year next year. So we're going to see it out. And the season's looking great for the Jets. I'm excited to see what the Jets do this year. That is all for the DeVaro Show. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Remember to subscribe and share this podcast with all those fans out there. Take care and God bless you.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.